In this tutorial, we want to complete two jobs. The first job is that we want to separate our students by their ID, and we want a list of students with an odd ID and a list of students with an even ID. In our second task, we want to split our students by class, whether it's an even class or an odd class. This will take a slight change in the formula for both processes. So please hold on for the second example so you know how to do both. Let's get cracking. You also find a link to the starter sheet in the description below if you want to play along, and I encourage you to do so because it really helps you with the learning experience. Let's get cracking. Okay, so for our first example, all we need to do is find all the values that are odd. To find whether a value is odd or even, all we have to do is use the is_odd or is_even functions. Let's have a look over in N5 here. We can say is odd. And then it says here it takes a value. Great, we'll click on B5 because that's the one we want to split by, and close our brackets. And we could drag this down a bit to get a better idea, and you can see that 15583 is odd, so that's great. Then this 18982 is even, so that's false. And of course, that's odd, odd, even. And of course, we can do the same with the is_even function. So if I type in equals is_even and select the same column B that we want to split by, and close our brackets and drag it down, we should get the opposite value to the odd value, in which we do. Great, let's delete that. So now that we have that in the back of our mind, we're going to use this on an array formula. So for example, let's move over to here to make things a bit clearer. Now we can use an array formula on our is_odd or is_even functions to apply them to an entire range. So let's go array formula and is_odd. And instead of just selecting a single cell, let's select the entire range here. So I'm just going to select a couple. And I know it goes all the way down to 74. Let's just double check that by scrolling down. Yep, down to 74. And let's close that brackets and close the brackets again to finish the array formula and hit enter and see what magic happens. And there we have it. So a single formula has created an array of true or false values for is_odd for the entire range that we've selected. Cool. All right, let's just delete that because we don't need that anymore, but we'll keep that in the back of our mind. So now let's display all the students who have an odd ID. So first things, we'll hit equals, and we can use the filter function for this. Now the filter function first takes the range you want to display, and that for us is going to be from A5 all the way across and all the way down to 74. So for the second argument, that shows us the condition that we want to display. So for us, that is odd. So remember again, we need to apply this to a range. So we use array formula and open up our brackets, and we say is odd. And then open up our brackets again, and we're going to select this column B because that's the column that we want to split by. Okay, and let's close this brackets for is_odd, close the array formula and close the filter, hit enter and see what happens. And if we carefully look down this ID column, we can see that all of these IDs are now odd. Just to practice and reinforce what we learned, we can do the same with the is_even. Let's be a little lazy though, and just click on this cell F5, go up to the formula bar up the top here and hit Control A to select all, Control C to copy, and then Tab to get out, and Tab again until we get over to J5. Go back into the formula bar, hit Control V to paste, and just simply change this is_odd to is_even, and hit enter. Awesome. And now you can see in this even rows range that all the students have even IDs. Okay, on to the next example. So this time around, we want to split by class. Now, class is a little bit of a problem because unlike IDs, where we can go equals is_odd and select the ID, and it comes up with true. If I do the same to this class, is_odd, and then select C5 and close the brackets, we're going to get an error. What's the error? It says function is_odd parameter 1 expects number values. So basically what it's saying is these values aren't exactly numbers. There are letters in there, and there's also a hyphen in there as well. We need to extract the last character, which is a number, for us to find out if that last character is odd or even. All right, so let's just delete that and delete that one again. How are we going to go about this? So there's a really easy solution in Google Sheets. Let's type in equals and type in right. So what does right do? It grabs all the selected characters from the right-hand side of the string in the cell. So if I select on this cell here, you can see it's selected 4. Now, the right function does have a optional function of the number of characters you want. So for example, I could type in 2 here, and that will get me 04, and the next one will give me 02, 04, and so on. We only need the last character. So let's just go back and just close our brackets after our cell reference. Now, if I hit enter here and just go up here and click it and drag it down, see that it's collecting all the numbers at the end of each one of these cells over here. Nice. So all we need to do now is incorporate this into our overall formula. So let's get cracking with that. So we'll head over to these odd rows and we'll hit in equals again and we'll type in filter. And we want to select our range, which is going to be this A5 over to C74, and we'll go down. And then comma. And then our condition is going to start with an array formula again. And next we want to ask if it is odd. And then we're going to use our right function to grab that last character in that cell, which is a number. And our item to sort is going to be this column C, this classes in this example. So I'm going to click on this C5, and that's going to be C5 all the way down to 74. So I'll just cheat and type in 74 there. Nice. Let's close the brackets on the right function, close it on the isOdd and the array formula, and let's also close it on the filter and see what happens. Great. So now we've only got the odd sections in this list. Let's tidy things up just a little bit more and use the sort function. So just between the equal sign and the filters, I'm going to type in sort here and open up brackets around it. And the sort function takes our range, which is our newly filtered range. We're going to put a comma in here. And the next thing it's going to take is the column to sort. And we want to sort by this class column here. That's column 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the final thing it's asking us is this ascending or descending, true or false? So true, it is ascending. And let's close the brackets and hit enter and see what happens. Now you can see that all our students have been sorted by class. That is odd. Awesome. Let's do the same for even. We'll cheat again. We'll go back up to the formula bar, hit Control A to select, hit Control C to copy, tab across till we get to J5, go back into our formula bar, Control V, and update is odd to is even. And hit tab twice to get out. And there we go. Now we have a sorted range of all our even classes for our students. Okay, if you want to learn a bit more about odd and even groups in a range, I have a written tutorial in the description below. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more like this, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really helps out with the algorithm, gets these tutorials out to more people. Until next time.